When people think about change, they often imagine something dramatic, a huge breakthrough, a major victory, a life changing event, a sudden transformation. But survival rarely works that way. Most survival stories are built on small steps, one step, then another, then another. Small steps may not look impressive, they may not attract attention, they may not create headlines, but small steps create momentum, and momentum creates progress. Think about a mountain. Nobody reaches the top in a single stride. The summit is reached one step at a time. The same is true in life. Every large accomplishment begins as a series of small actions. Every strong foundation begins with a single brick. Every long journey begins with a single step. Survival teaches patience because survival understands that progress is often slower than we would like. Sometimes people become discouraged because they focus only on the distance remaining. They look at how far they still have to go. They look at how much work is left. They look at the size of the challenge. And because the challenge appears so large, they stop moving. But survivor asks a different question. Not, how far do I have left to go? Instead, what is the next step? The next step is manageable. The next step is actionable. The next step can be taken today. A person may not be able to solve every problem in a single day, but they can take the next step. A person may not be able to rebuild everything at once, but they can take the next step. A person may not be able to see the entire path ahead, but they can take the next step. Small steps reduce overwhelm. Small steps create confidence. Small steps produce evidence that progress is happening. And progress, no matter how small, changes how you see yourself. Nature understands this principle. A tree does not appear overnight. It grows little by little. A river does not carve a valley in a day. It shapes the land over time. Even mountains are formed through processes that occur gradually. Nature is patient. Nature trusts the process. Survival requires that same patience. The challenge is not always taking a giant leap. The challenge is continuing to move when the leap is not available. Some days progress looks like a mile. Some days progress looks like an inch. Both still move you forward. Many people underestimate what small actions can accomplish over time. One conversation, one decision, one improvement, one lesson, one adjustment, one step. Repeated consistently, these small actions become powerful. They accumulate, they compound, they create transformation. The person who keeps moving eventually reaches places that seemed impossible in the beginning. Not because they move faster than everyone else, not because they possess extraordinary advantages, but because they refuse to stop. Survival is often less about speed and more about persistence, the willingness to continue, the willingness to keep going, the willingness to take another step, even when the finish line is not visible. So if you feel overwhelmed by the size of a challenge, remember this. You do not need to complete the entire journey today. You do not need to solve every problem today. You do not need to reach the summit today. You only need to take the next step, then take the next one after that. Because survival is not built in giant leaps. Survival is built in small steps. And small steps taken consistently can change an entire life. When people think about change, they often imagine something dramatic, a huge breakthrough, a major victory, a life changing event, a sudden transformation. But survival rarely works that way. Most survival stories are built on small steps, one step, then another, then another. Small steps may not look impressive. They may not attract attention. They may not create headlines, but small steps create momentum, and momentum creates progress. Think about a mountain. Nobody reached the top